Thank you, Andrew. Well spoken, sir. Well, we'll now move on to our first discussion session, and I've been invited to present an overview of the Australian blueberry landscape. And as I said earlier, this will be followed by a more global view, which includes both representatives of Driscoll's and Hortifruit. So, looking back on the Australian landscape, if we cast our mind back to 2015 and where berries, sorry, let me get some notes here. So if we cast our mind back to 2015, berries were about $809 million of $4.5 billion worth of fresh fruit. So still the largest in the category, but growing very, very, very rapidly. Berries represented 4% of the volume, 18% of overall value of fresh fruit supplied. 75% of Australian households purchase fresh berries, annual consumption 3.1 kilo. If we then move to 2021, we will see how that has grown. Fresh fruit sales value is 5.7 billion. The wholesale value of the fresh berries supplied increased to 1.3 billion. That's an 8% 6-year average category growth. Berries' share of sales volume increased 2 points to 6%, sales value 4 points to 12%, and now 88% of Australian households purchase fresh berries, with per capita consumption growing to 3.9 kilos. And if we look at where berries then went in the total fruit category, it's the largest category again in the fruit industry, and second fastest growth only to avocados. And one's got to understand, avocados started from a very low base back then. If you then look at the individual performance of the products, blackberries, their 9-year performance, 2012 through to 2021, sales volumes grew 47% per year. Sales price did decrease, but only marginally through the same period. And that volume growth achieved through introduction of new genetics and now a 52-week supply. Blueberries, the sales volume grew 20% per year. The prices decreased 4.5%, and volume growth was achieved via regional expansion and the introduction of new genetics. So you'll see the graph there that shows clearly that the drop-off in price as we've had the increased volumes. In 2021, unfortunately, was the bearer of the bad weather that we've had, and in all likelihood, 22 is not going to be much different because of the weather situation we've had. Otherwise, from a footprint perspective, we will get growth, and when we get back to a normal year, that will start going in a more positive trajectory. In terms of raspberry performance, a similar situation, only far greater growth. Volumes grew 25% per year, and sales prices decreased 4.3%, very similar to the blueberry situation. And market expansion was achieved via the introduction of the primocane genetics and again 52-week supply. From a strawberry perspective, not a lot has changed in terms of the volume mix with a slight increase in price. And again, I think the price growth has been achieved through increased summer volumes, and imports are no longer exist. If we then look at the market opportunity for blackberries in particular, I think that when we benchmark ourselves against best in class, and you look at the three measures there in terms of frequency of purchase, volume per trip, and per capita, there's still a lot of room for opportunity in the category, and particularly with blackberries. But I think that's going to come with pack size differentiation, 52-week, as I said earlier, genetic improvement, and the opportunity to follow the raspberry category in terms of penetration and frequency of purchase. In blueberries, again, we still got a way to go on all three best-in-class measures, and I think that'll happen with extended production windows, consistent product offer over the 52 weeks, and don't forget, here in Australia, we were the first country in the world to actually have 52 weeks of fresh blueberry production, and you take a hat off to the rest of the industry for achieving that. In terms of raspberries, it's, again, similar situation, and we've had the increases, and we can take this up with improved penetration and frequency and improved production from April through to November in each year where there is an opportunity. From a strawberry perspective, we need to drive the volume per trip performance, particularly during peak production periods, and also look at different pack types. So what's that mean at the end of the day in terms of trying to take the opportunity up? So the four measures that I've put here are genetic improvement. So we need to increase yield, improve the labour management and the pick speed efficiencies. The consumer focus in terms of flavour, product consistency, post-harvest management, range extension, quality improvement, market access, increased customer reach, risk mitigation, and sustainability. And this is a very, very important part of all of growers across the board, not just here in Australia, but globally in terms of sustainability. The way we go about our business, ethically wise, the environment, and alternative packaging. It's something that's front of mind, I think, everywhere I've been lately around the globe, and wearing the presidency of the International Blueberry Organisation, I get to see a lot of different other activities in a lot of different countries, and I know that this is front of mind. So if we're going to be, at the forefront of sustainable food production and food security, we need to ensure that we are on top of our game and going in the right direction. So look, that's it for me in terms of the Australian landscape. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to give this overview, and